experience, you know? Well, decide what's important for you first. What you're willing to sacrifice for, what you're willing to orient your life around, even when it's not easy. It's like, imagine you have children, you have kids. If you have kids, you know, anybody that's ever had kids know, boy, if you're only oriented around how you personally feel at any given moment, you're in for a rude shock when your kids show up and they're demanding so much of your time and so much of your attention, and they're not oriented about your inner experience of being. They've got their own needs and wants, right? And so it's one of the reasons that often when people have children, they make some of their greatest leaps in human maturity, because even a halfway decent parent has to transcend their own obsession with their own inner state at every step. They connect with something that's more important than that. And the benefit of doing that often is they find that, strangely, they're often happier because they've connected with something that's even more important than, how do I feel right now? Oh, there's this more important thing in my life. And strangely, paradoxically, that actually gives you a deeper, richer, and better experience of being, even when it's challenging, which, say, raising kids, for instance, can be very challenging at times. But I know lots of people who've raised children, and all of them that I know of, I'm sure there's other examples that's not this way, but all of them that I know, they really feel like it's been a tremendous enhancement to their experience of being. And one of the things that they realize, it's an enhancement because it draws them to some extent out of a obsession with pleasing themselves at every moment with their own experience. Now, of course, we can get lost in another, whether the other is your children or your lover or your friends. You can be so other-oriented that becomes a way of getting lost too. But I'm just using this as sort of an example of when you find what you love, what's important to you, that which is important to you, that which you cherish, that which you love, not only in yourself, but for life, for everybody, it's, as I've said many times in this program, it's self-transcending. You don't just love it when it's easy for you or when you like it. You love it all the time. And so it pulls you out of this exclusive focus on self. And spiritually speaking, that's a pretty positive thing, if we don't get lost in externals once again. And I have found that anybody that really orients themselves and their life towards what they really are for, what they really cherish, what's really important to them, if they really, really do that, they inevitably end up being much happier, much, much happier as a kind of byproduct, not as a goal, but as a byproduct. Because they are participating. Their orientation in life is then inherently self-transcending. And they're oriented in something in life that's, of course, good for them, but good for everybody. So in a certain sense, it's, from the very beginning, it's an expression of unity. And I think we're all at our best when we're expressing unity. That doesn't mean that you're always nice, or it doesn't mean you always look spiritual. Those images have to be left by the wayside. You'll be whatever you need to be to express that unity, which may or may not look nice. You know, Jesus was deeply interested and concerned and oriented his life around the unity of being. He called it the kingdom of heaven. But as he said, the kingdom of heaven is spread upon the earth and men do not see it. It wasn't something that could happen at a later date. It's right here. It's like I'm engaged in the work of the kingdom. Someone like Jesus wasn't just sitting there going, I just want to sit back and experience heaven. That's all I really want to do. It was like he was getting on with the business of it, with the being of that which is eternal. Now that is to embrace a kind of cosmic paradox. And sometimes that was easy and sometimes that wasn't easy. Sometimes he told people what they liked to hear. Sometimes he told people what they didn't like to hear. But at all times he was trying to embody a unified vision. And so each of us have the same sort of opportunity too.